I'm going to be building up a historically accurate Roman town, and I'm going to be modeling my town over the ruins of the old Roman city established in the south bit of the Dacian province by the Roman Empire, and ruins of which I've explored personally. I've also checked a few extra documents to see exactly what the layout of Roman towns was historically, how it began, how it modified with the city expanding. We're going to try our best to adapt that to Manor Lords, since of course we don't have Roman buildings in Manor Lord. Also guys, if you want to see more content from me and you enjoy the content in general, consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 200,000 subs by the end of the month, which is really fast approaching. There's not much of a Roman flag I can get, but this is the closest to it, I guess, since this is technically the Roman cross. We're also going to have some enemies on the map to help us out, and we're going to have as many bandits as possible and raids for that matter, and everything else is basically just standard. Let's start our adventure. I'm also going to be talking a little bit more about every single thing that I do in this video, so you can consider this a complete beginner's guide too. And if you're new to Manor Lords, you can definitely follow along. It's not going to be difficult. It's a very easy game so far, and I do hope when the game gets actually launched that it's going to have more features than it currently does. And also, if we get 2,000 likes on this video, I'm going to continue this campaign and turn our little town into a proper city as we progress. Now, our current situation is as follows. We have 2,900 iron deposits, 64 berries, 20 animals, 2,400 clay, and 200 stone. That's actually pretty good. We are bordering both of our enemies, so that might be a little bit of an issue, and we've got a lot of bandit camps all around. That was intentional though. We'll handle the bandit camps as we progress. Now, our starting spot is not really the best, but I'm not going to move it for now. We do have great agriculture lands to the north and into the forest here, so what I'm probably going to do as well a little bit in the south. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my main town in the center, and then I'm going to have some agriculture into the south and a little bit into the north. We need to first off lay out our roads, because the way you lay out our roads is going to define what our city is going to look like. Now, there's two actual types of historical Roman layouts, depending on whether they were planning to make a little bit of a bigger town or a smaller town, or even depending if it started off as a castrum, which was a military town. Truth be told, most Roman cities did start out as military towns, so we're going to be following along with the military town layout for our Roman city. Obviously, every single city was different, of course, and Civitas Tropaensium, as is the name of this particular city that we're trying to mimic here, originally was built around the Trophaeum Traiani, which is a monument showing that the Romans won a battle over the Dacians a long time ago under the leadership of Trajan, the conqueror of the Dacians. Now, this city here was a border city for a very long time. As such, it had really strong walls. We will have walls around our city, of course. We can do that. However, we can only get wooden walls. We might get stone walls when the game gets fully released. Maybe they're going to implement stone buildings. I hope so. Let's see. Stone walls. And it is not square. Also, the market of Civitas Tropaensium, which is actually a little bit more of a unique feature, not really common in Roman cities, was alongside the main road with an attached forum right next to it. Normally, there would be just a forum or a for in the center of the town, square forum or rectangular forum, and then you would have smaller marketplaces. But in certain cases, like in Civitas Tropaensium here, the market was a long line along the road. The center of the town had the church, so we can start it off by making the initial homeless people's tent into a work camp. It's only one lumber and it's actually pretty decent. I like doing that so I can increase my population a little bit faster. We're gonna go to construction, then gathering, and we're gonna do our logging camp first. Take note, guys, if you don't do a logging camp in this game, what will happen is you will be unable to construct anything else because you're not going to have any lumber. Now, logging camp takes 2 lumber to, or timber better yet, to construct, so you need to build your logging camp as your very first building. If you used up the initial 10 timber or 8 timber that you have, or whatever you have, 5 timber, I don't know how much you start with, you use that up and you didn't build a logging camp, you have to restart because you literally don't have timber. So keep that in mind. Now, aside from the logging camp, we're also going to build a hunting camp to get some food. The closer to the animals that we're going to hunt, the better actually, but the animals are actually very far, so maybe I'll build it somewhere in the middle here. Yeah, there you go. And then we're just going to build a road to it so it snaps all the way to that. Nice. And we can bring it all the way here. You can, of course, if you like to, adjust the curvature so you can make circles with your roads and so on. Hold the control key and then you can increase or decrease the curvature with your middle mouse button. I'm not going to do that. I'm just mentioning this because in my previous Manor Lords video somebody said, Ludi, you don't even know how to make curved roads. Homie, it's literally written at the bottom of the screen. It's not rocket science. Some people really need to get out of the house sometimes, not gonna lie. For all intents and purposes, we will have some curved roads, but the majority of them are gonna be square. However, the outer layout is gonna be curved, as is the actual outer layout of the city that we're trying to mimic here. Boom! This is essentially gonna be our main road. So we're gonna need to take a good close look at what exactly the actual city looks like. So let's say like this for now, and we're gonna start building. The granary would be in the outer edge, so the granary would be around here, we could say, right? We're gonna go to logistics, granary, and we can build it over yonder. Storehouse is gonna be right next to the granary, of course. Boom shakalaka. We're doing this so we can quickly get the supplies that we spawn in with, because if we don't have these supplies in cover, they're gonna perish, so we're gonna lose the supplies. We only have 20 bread and a few other supplies, so we really want to make sure that we don't lose them. Let's also go ahead and build another hitching post right next to our logging camp. Why are we doing this? Well, we're doing it because we're gonna actually have a few other buildings here. So we're gonna go back to gathering. We're gonna go and we're gonna get a woodcutter's lodge, boom, and a saw pit all next to one another. Why is it like that? Well, because it's closer to get the timber from the logging camp to the other two buildings right next to it than it otherwise would be. So we're gonna do saw pit, we're gonna do herbalist hut, and we're gonna go logistics, and we're gonna do hitching post here, so we get the second oxen, which we can use to transport timber around these 4 buildings. Now I cannot do it because I don't have any timber left, so I have to wait until this is finished. Let's go ahead and give it high or very high priority so people know to finish this building before any other buildings. Whilst all of that is happening, I'm also going to be checking around my surroundings. To the south, we have a lot of berries and a lot of nothing else. Wow, this is the most disappointing province I've seen ever. How about here? We have stone quite a little bit here, and that's it. All of these provinces are horrible. Holy mother of God, what is going on here? These are horrible, man. Okay, let me check something. I feel like these might be good farming land. Yeah, there we go. That's why they're horrible. So we're gonna capture this next, because we can turn this entire region into a massive farm with which we can feed our huge city. Because if we get that like goal of 2,000 in the second part of this campaign, I want to see if I can reach 1,000 population with this town. A big 1,000 strong Roman city. I don't think anyone's done that yet, right? Once we've gotten our granary and our storehouse done, we're not gonna get these notices anymore. Homelessness, however, even though we upgraded this to a worker camp, we're still gonna see this notification. I don't know if it's a bug or not. It's a little bit annoying, but it's fine. We're gonna get rid of that once we have actual houses for our people. And to give an overview of the extremely easy to understand interface, we have unassigned population, and each of these pops represents a family, not just one. Unassigned people will be working in construction, and they will be also guiding the ox around for transport. Assigned people will do various jobs, as I will be showing you in a few moments. This is our total population right now, so we have 5 families of 3 members each. Living spaces, we have 5 because this worker camp includes 5. This is our approval rating. We need to have it above 50% in order to get more people to join our wonderful town. This is our public order, pretty self-explanatory. Regional wealth, which we can use to purchase stuff from the market, to upgrade certain buildings, to buy animals. This is the livestock, which right now it consists of 1 oxen. Our current food and fuel supply, which is going to last for roughly 4 months. Construction items that we have, the food, and there's different food types over here. The fuel, which we have firewood and charcoal if we have the technology for that. To get charcoal, we go to our tech screen and we have to get charcoal burning technology, which also leads to deep mining, which is not bad because it's going to give us infinite resources in rich deposit mines like the iron mine that we start off with right now. We also have policies. Once we get the manor house, we're going to unlock these and we can enact some of them. Production is not yet in place. Hopefully it's going to be in place whenever the game actually gets fully released, because I'm curious to see what it's going to entail. We also have the crops shown, the crafting materials, commodities, and the military items, which we're going to use for our soldiers in this video, because I'm going to show you how to properly do your armies as well in this video. And right now, as it stands, by the way, archers is the way. Archers are just insanely overpowered in Manor Lords in the current version of the game. Big shout out to my friend Feedback Gaming for showing me how powerful they can actually be. All right, logging camp is done. Let's assign 1 or even 2 families we can assign here. So that way we get 2 entire families working, cutting down trees and making timber so we can use to expand our town, or better yet, just build our town, because we don't really have a town right now, do we? First 2 timber, let's get that sawmill done, or saw pit done. We need the saw pit so we can start getting the planks necessary necessary to build the church, and you want the church to be one of your initial buildings. The granary was also done, so let's assign a family here so that we get all of these goods transported from the supply pile that we start with to the granary, so we don't waste them in case there's a rain around the corner. I'm also gonna get a forager's hut done because we have 64 berries that we could potentially forage. So let's go and connect this particular building to the main town. There we go. Forager's hut's gonna have to be a high priority too, and we also need to assign one family to the hunting camp, which has just finished building. That means we only have one family unassigned, which is gonna be building stuff. So we're gonna unassign one more family from the logging camp. One is enough for the time being because we need at least 2 families to build stuff and expand the camp until more families arrive. Instantly, we're gonna assign one family to the forager's hut because berries are seasonal. So that means during winter, for example, we cannot collect any berries, or whenever they're basically dried out, we cannot collect them, and we're gonna eventually end up with no food, and our civilization is gonna starve out. So we do not want that to happen, do we? Let's go ahead and build up our market as well. So residential marketplace, and for the time being, I'm gonna have a very small marketplace, basically akin to the marketplace of Civitas Tropaensium. We're gonna have another one on the other side of the road eventually when we need it, and so on. Let's also go ahead and expand the road. Technically, behind the market, there was no road. It was just houses directly, so maybe we should just do our bungalows behind. So residential bungalow plot. So construction, residential, a burgage plot. Boom, 1, 2, and 3. Now, there's technically 3 types of houses that you can have, or house plots that you can have, better yet. The first one would be a little bit like this, where you get the main house itself, and then you have an attachment which allows you to get another family in there. The second type would be just the house itself, like this, only the house. And the third type would be the house with an attachment next to it, which allows you to transform this house into a business. So this type of attachment can make it so that we build different armors, bows, or we grow vegetables, we grow chicken or whatever in this particular house. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Well, it can take a little bit more timber, and to get the attachment done, you might also need to pay a little bit of regional wealth. And if you do, say for example, turn one of these houses into a brewery, the people living there are going to be working as brewers, and you're going to need to build more houses to actually get population working in your other buildings. Since I do need a lot of living spaces right now, I'm just going to build these types of houses so I have enough population. In the center of town, I don't want to have any farming done whatsoever. We want to leave that for the outskirts. So the second row of houses here are going to be the production houses that I mentioned. So the second row is going to look a little bit like this. Whenever we're going to be able to do it, they're going to look like this, and at the back we're going to do various production items, since that would be far enough from the center of town, which we want to keep as basically an industrial area or business district for the Roman towns. Yeah, that would be taking it a little bit too high, I guess. Business district for sure. Let's also not forget to get our well in. We need to have wells to fight fire, and you need to have underwater supply networks in order to build wells. You cannot, say for example, build these in this particular area since you do not have any underground water supply. We're gonna get more of these around town because fires are our biggest bane. If a fire starts and you're not putting it out in time, you're gonna lose your entire town, and I'm not even capping right now. Take note, your hunting camp and your forager's hut are gonna be enough for the first year when it comes to food, but you want to start preparing for the second year and start getting agriculture done. You should have around 10 or give or take animals that you're going to be able to hunt. We already hunted 3, and we're going to get another 7 hunted, but we don't want to hunt all of them because then we completely deplete our supply of wild animals, which is not optimal. Same goes here. This is very much so temporary, so we need to make farming a main theme. In order to get farming done, we need to have a farmhouse, which we're going to get close to the farm itself, and then fields. Take note on the map, it's going to show you fields have different potential yield. If the area is not fertile, it's going to show with this color. The more green the color, the more fertile the area. So we want to build our plots in areas with really green land. So say here, for example, this is all green, so this would yield a lot of wheat, which in turn we can turn into flour and then into bread for our citizens. And yes, I'm going to call them citizens. We are role-playing the Romans. You be quiet right now. Sure, we all look distinctly Slavic. There's Slavic style buildings, but we're role-playing the Romans, okay? So you be quiet right now, you nerd. Sacre bleu, the first house is done. Now, because we have that attachment over here, which we can actually physically see here, we can expand the living space and we can get another family into this one burgage plot. We can also upgrade upgraded to level 2 whenever we have church level, we have water access, fuel stall supply, food stall supply, and clothing stall supply. We need to have 2 different types of food, by the way, so we right now have both actually. Okay, we got meat and we have berries, so that's awesome. And clothing stall we need to get a little bit later. We're not gonna prioritize that just yet. Oh, look at that, we got another family. Hell yeah. Okay, so we're gonna prioritize this as well, high and high, so we get this finished to get more population in our country. We have 75 food, which is actually amazing. Whenever we've picked all the berries from here, we can also just unassign this particular individual, so we can assign them to other industries essentially. And we can also expand the living spaces in all of these areas, so we can get more families to come on over to our land. So we have 13 living spaces, which means we can actually demolish this. Let's go ahead and demolish it. It is instant, surprisingly. I was actually expecting this to have some sort of demolishing process, but it doesn't. We're also going to change the hitching post, and we're going to relocate it. I'm not going to pause it. We're going to relocate it over yonder. There we go. Behind the granary is a good spot for that, because this is going to be where our church will be placed, right next to the market. And speaking of, we're going to build a secondary market on the other side. There we go. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Another 5 stalls along the main road. I'm also going to assign 1 family for the woodcutter's lodge, because we're running out of wood for firewood. We only have 3 left, which is an issue, because we don't want our people to freeze to death, do we now? Unless we actually do, which we don't. I promise we don't. We really don't. Go ahead and take a little stroll through our town. Not much, only 4 houses so far, but eventually this place is going to be massive and beautiful, especially once we put the walls of the city in. That's going to be one of the main themes of today's video, setting up those walls for our beloved town. I wish you had more interactions with your lord. I wish you could, like, I don't know, purchase from the stalls or talk to the peasants or something of the sorts. That would be pretty cool to see. Let's also actually name this Civitas Tropaensium, so we know where exactly we are on the map, right? I started building a second hitching post right next to the saw pit. The saw pit really is in need of a hitching post, that is for sure. And we are maxed out on our families, 8 out of 8, so we're gonna need to build some more houses now. Okay, I've reassigned my market stalls. We've gotten a little bit of a road in between, so we have an easier access here. Hitching post done too, so let's order another ox that we can use for the saw pit. The saw pit pretty much cannot function without an ox bringing in the timber. Timber is pretty heavy, and you need an ox to transport it, so having 2 ox from the start of the campaign is pretty much mandatory. I should have built this hitching post a while back. I don't know why the hell I didn't build it already. I'm gonna get 5 more houses built. This time I'm gonna build houses that are gonna have a little bit of a backyard. There we go. So these are gonna be for agriculture purposes essentially, because we're gonna have vegetables and chickens in these particular houses. So the bigger the plot behind, the better, because the more you're gonna be able to produce as consequence. If you just want to have 1 house for that, you could do that too. So you could say have a small entrance like that, and then there you go. So this would be 1 massive land of vegetables, and it would be 1 house with a potential attachment for a secondary house, and it would only cost 2 timber, and it would produce massive amounts of vegetables. So this would likely be the better option here, but it just doesn't look pretty for me, which is literally why I'm not building it. If you want to be efficient, definitely build like this. Way better than the way I'm doing. But yeah, this is just, for me, this is also OCD friendly, and I do have a little bit of OCD, so I'm definitely gonna go for this personally. I know it's not that many vegetables you're gonna be able to build there, but it's fine. And I'm doing more burgage plots initially before I even do the church, so I can upgrade my plots to level 2, because we need more population to start ramping up our building processes. Huzzah, we got our very first development point. That means we've advanced now as a city, and we can choose one of these technologies. It's a tough choice, not gonna lie. A lot of these are really great actually. I'm a big fan of the apiary. I'm a big fan of the deep mining, because you get basically infinite resources over rich deposits and so on. That being said, however, I'm gonna go for orchards, and then afterwards I'm gonna go for rye cultivation and irrigation, since we want to have a big city, and in order to have a big city we need to have a lot of population, which means we're gonna need to have a buttload of food. So food is gonna be a bane, especially since our starting fertilization is not great. If we look over here, nothing's fertile except this little green patch and this other little green patch over here and this other small one here. The rest is just not. Oh no, actually I'm wrong. Oh, I didn't even realize we have a lot of green patches in here. Oh, okay, it might not be so bad, but still, getting rye technology means we can build our farms really close by to our city, so our people don't need to go too far initially in the first part of the campaign. We're also going to build up a tannery. We need the tannery in order to turn hides into leather. We already are getting a little bit of hides from our hunting camp, and as such we need to turn that hive into leather. We got 22 of them. We can get quite a little bit of leather, and then we can use that leather to upgrade our burgage plots to level 2. The only things missing is the church and the clothing stall. So church, we're just waiting for the hardwood to finish. We've got so far 10 hardwood. Planks. We want to make something that's going to be a complete identical copy of the actual city, Civitas Tropaensium. We're also going to get our trading post, which is going to be slightly to the side of the church here, and the livestock trading post as well. Might as well get them close to each other, right? Let's also go ahead and make one of our first vegetable gardens here out of this particular burgage plot, and maybe one more from this one. Awesome. So we have 2 vegetable gardens now. I'm also going to start by assembling my first militia. We got from the start of the campaign some large shields and spears, so we can make 1 spear militia. That is going to be 16 units. It is enough to destroy a bandit camp, so let's see which bandit camp we can attack. This one here seems to be the closest. We can attack these guys and we can get some money, which we can then afterwards use to do some trading for resources that we need, or to just hire a professional retinue for our nation, or for our city better yet. But we only have 16 units, so we need to wait for our town to grow a little bit more in size. We need at the very least 30, or at the very least 20, since we have enough for 20 units, right? Once we have 4 more, we can attack the bandits, I guess. Winter is here, so this guy doesn't need to work in the forager hut anymore, because there's no more berries for winter. We gotta wait for the next season to arrive to collect berries, which means he's gonna be unassigned, so he can help us with building stuff. We also want to start getting our industry going, so we're gonna start building up some mining. 1 stone cutters, 1 mining pit over here should work for the iron mines, and another one for the clay mine. You have to build them exactly where the resource is. Stone cutters, you don't need to build them where the resource is. It's just a matter of how close you want it to be to their workplace, really. So we're gonna put the stone cutter right here with the rest of our industrial area. And somebody say they want to have a church, because we're about to get one, boys. This is the actual spot, smack in the middle of town, just as it is in the ruins of Civitas Tropaensium. I know, because I've been there firsthand. Absolutely love that place. Highly recommend you guys check it out. I know I sound like a tourist department, but someone's got to do it, right? End of the day, it's pretty sad that this beautiful city, which has long been abandoned by its initial inhabitants, doesn't really have any tourism. I mean, I've been to this place a few times because it's close to my flight school where I got my flying license. So I used to fly over it with my plane, and not only fly over with my plane, but I used to physically go and check this place out multiple times. Almost every single time I checked it, there was like maximum 3 other people checking it, and there's like only 1 security guard, which is supposed to make sure that people don't loot the place. And guess what? This here is his house. He built his house with stones from the walls of the ruins of the city. My man's supposed to protect that shit, and he built his house with the stuff he's supposed to protect. I mean, do you see where I'm leading to? Romania needs some actual tourism, guys. There's no tourism, at least not in these kind of places. Everybody goes to Bran Castle, which, by the way, Bran Castle has nothing to do with Vlad the Impaler or Dracula. In fact, he lived in Poyenar Castle, which again has no tourism because nobody knows that's the actual Vlad the Impaler castle. It's mind-blowing how gaslighting works with that particular touristic spot. And just for reference, this is Bran Castle, which again has nothing to do with Dracula at all. The guy based on which the story of Dracula is made did not even live here. It's possible he never even visited this place except once to raid it. This, on the other hand, is Poyenar Castle, which is where he actually lived, and it is an actual castle. It is on top of a mountain itself. It is a really well defended spot, and he lived here because it was strategically easy to defend, hard for anyone to actually take this down. It was eventually destroyed by the Turks, and it is falling into disrepair because it has 0 tourists, because everybody's convinced the dog shit fucking customs tower, by the way, that's not even a castle, the Bran Castle. It was originally a customs checkpoint, which turned into a castle with time, that got advertised as Dracula's castle by some online articles, and it just brought it's one of the most visited spots in Romania, if not the most visited spot, which is really ironic because the actual Dracula castle nobody visits. I think only Romanians know about this place, and every time I personally go and check it out, it's like 5, 6, 8 people maybe maximum, whilst Bran Castle there's a queue that's probably 1,000 people waiting in a queue to visit it. Pretty funny how life works, isn't it? But anyway, let's get back to our Roman Roman city building, shall we? So within Civitas Tropaiensium, the area where there was recreation, let's say, was actually behind the church. So right above over there, if you can see it. I'm gonna try and put my tavern right behind my church in the area over yonder. Yeah, right behind it, I guess. So say a little bit like this. Yeah, maybe we can do a row of houses in between, because I feel like there's a little bit of a distance between the actual tavern and the church itself. We can get 3 houses in here, actually. Hell yeah. Even 4 if we really think about it. There you go. That works with me. And then the barracks would fit, I mean, the tavern would fit perfectly behind, and it would actually be the same like the city itself, with a little bit of a distance between the church and the tavern. Ah, I love the smell of peasants working in the morning. Work, my minions, work. Build my church. Okay, we got the 20 units we need. Let's go ahead and use these bad boys to attack the bandit scum. Let's rally up over here, and then after we rally up, we're gonna head on over to the barbarians. Everybody loves kung fu fighting. Let's assemble for the battle. Like, obviously this game is primarily focused on city building. Don't get it wrong, it's not Total War, but the fighting aspect is not bad at all. So I'm doing this because I really need the regional wealth. The easiest way to get regional wealth early on is to just attack bandits, and 20 spear militia is more than enough to wipe out some bandits. Do take note though, you want to be defending against them, so we're gonna stop somewhere close to the bandits and we're gonna let them attack us. So now they're actually pushing towards us. Let's go ahead and sit here, stay here, so we get actually not, so they don't get the high ground. Right now it looks like they're gonna be pushing towards us. They don't have any bows or arrows, so we should be fine defending against them. We're gonna give some time for our units to also get their strength back up, and we're gonna do stand your ground, which is gonna double our defense, meaning we're gonna not lose more units, because then we can use these guys again to attack another bandit camp and get even more money in the process. Hey, I'm walking through you. I'm literally a ghost right now. That is ghost behavior right there. Let's back out a little bit. So we still have 20 out of 20. They have 15 out of 16, so they lost one, but they have more effectiveness than us. I'm guessing that's because they've got the upper ground, don't they? Yeah, they do have the higher ground. We have 47 if oh my god, what? We might actually lose this, bro. Low ground minus 42. Them having the high ground is that much of a difference? No way. I thought this was the high ground. We went up, no? They lost 7 units now. Come on, they should be breaking any moment now. 8 units, and they're routing. They're about to rout. Look at that. They're routing. They routed. Hey. Let's go ahead and grab all the money they got in the camp. And you know what? I just realized my sound was extremely low. I don't even know if you guys heard any of the audio so far. Oh god, I hope I don't have like muted background noise for the video for the first part. That would be actually horrible. I probably do, don't I? Oh my god, I'm a horrible YouTuber, seriously. Also guys, we managed to get 320 influence from winning that battle against the brigands. So once we have 1,000 influence, we're gonna be able to claim one of these regions here. I'm likely gonna claim the middle one, so I prevent the other 2 AI opponents from claiming it. And we got our message. We can choose to give the money we took to the town or keep it for ourselves. We're giving it to the town 121 wealth to use for the greater good, or we could have taken it for ourselves to hire some mercenaries or to hire retinues. We're getting attacked by another bandits. Okay, cool. Let's make sure we have the upper ground now. Yeah, let's stay here. This looks like the higher ground to me, right? I'm gonna give a resonating speech here. Men of the West, they've taken your women, they've castrated your men, but they cannot have your pension. All 5 cents of it. Fight for me, and I'll let you eat an extra carrot next year whilst I'm feasting on massive buffets. That's right, I'm rich. You're basically slaves. Nobody say anything. Defend my town. Oh, charge me, baby. Charge me. Oh, look at that. That is actually insane. That is actually freaking insane right there. Cohesion, fatigue, high ground. We got 5% from high ground, so they should have less because they have the lower ground. That's right, Anakin. These are your soldiers right here. But yeah, guys, fighting is fun. I like having massive armies. In fact, for the second part of this, I'm thinking to have some big battles. I'm gonna let I'm gonna have to have big battles because the AI opponents that I have are gonna have around 600 units when I attack them. And we're winning again. They're down to 8 units, 7, and they routed. Go ahead and take their money. Let's see where the next bandit camp is. It's right here. Okay, they're really close to each other, so I'm gonna attack all of them quickly so I get my influence and I claim my second region. Also, I want to point out that it's very beneficial to go to advanced and permanently assign 1 livestock to the saw pit. This way you ensure that you're gonna have proper supply of timber, which is going to be turned into planks afterward. If you don't do this, it's still going to be working, but it's going to be a little bit harder to actually get the timber and the saw pit, especially since everybody and their mamas want to be using the ox to transport the timber, which actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to upgrade this to a small stable, and I'm going to get a second oxen in there. And I'm going to do the same for this one. I'm going to upgrade this to a small stable, and I'm going to get a secondary oxen. So we have 4 oxen. It should considerably improve the logistics of our town. Spoils of war, again, to town. There you go. We got up to 360 regional wealth now. I'm going to get some goat sheds here, or actually I'll mix it up. I'll get some chicken coops and some goat sheds. So this area is basically going to be my agricultural area in essence. We're going to get 2 of each, 2 vegetables, 2 goat sheds, and 2 chicken coops, producing in tandem here stuff. And I'm going to need more of this type of housing around the other edge of the town so I can get more production going. I need the orchards, but for the orchards, I think I'm going to do the ugly house so I get a bigger area, because orchards only start giving apples after 3 years or something like that. So I need to make sure that I have enough apples once that's done. We meet again, banditicus. Well. If it isn't the scummy barbarian, you know, we haben Steine aber unsere Legionarium. Ludi, why you speak with the German accent when you're playing as clearly the Romans? Excuse me? Did you not know most of the Roman legion was basically Germans by the end of the imperial period? I mean, it's facts. I absolutely love how you see the dead bodies after the battles, and they stick around for a while. You have to literally pick up the dead bodies to get rid of them. Now, I'm gonna take this particular batch of money for myself, so we now have 192 treasury. I'm doing that just in case I need mercenaries. I can create new units, hire mercenaries, and we have different mercenary companies available. Sometimes I might need to rely on mercenaries in order to survive a raider attack, which is something that's going to happen in a year or so when raiders are going to be able to attack our town. We're going to have to defend against them. Now let's bring our units back home, because we need to put these boys back to work. Our town is not going to build by itself. We do have some more barbarian camps around, if I'm not mistaken. One is over here. I just spotted it, but we're going to attack them a little bit later. We need to make sure our units build up the rest of the town here. We need these houses done. We need the church finished. We need a few more things done in order to get more population, so that the next time we attack with these 20 units, it's not going to be that much of an impact on our economy and our development. Take note, we also cannot disband them until they've reached our territory from which we've recruited them. So they have to reach this border here so that we can disband them and they go back to their regular jobs. And our first winter, hopefully we have enough food to survive. 94, mostly berries. Hey, we got the church. Awesome. So that means we can upgrade these. Level 2 burgage plot. Let's go for these 4 first, and that should be enough for us to get we need more timber actually. So afterwards, once we get 2 of these to level 2, we're gonna become a medium village settlement level, working our way towards becoming that juicy Roman town I promised in the thumbnail. Stables done. Let's get another ox. Let's take a little bit of a look at the difference between a level 1 and a level 2 house. So this is the level 2 house. It looks like it has some pretty cool what is that, clay walls, I guess, right, with some proper wood. And this is the secondary expansion house, and this is the level 1, which looks like similar but less design, I guess you could say. Oh, and this one's got like thatch on top of the house, whilst this one actually has some type of wood on top. And we've increased once more. Now next level is going to be a large village, and then we, I think, become town, right? We just need 3 more houses to be upgraded to level 2, which is actually not difficult. I can probably do that now as long as I have some more clothes, apparently. That being said, we're going to go for rye cultivation, so we start directly with rye in our second year. Go ahead and build a farmhouse right here, and then we're going to do our fields right next to it. I could technically wait until the forest gets deforested, because I'm not going to be doing a farm anyway now. And I can do this, advanced, select the working area, and we select this area, which we need to cut anyway. If I was going to do it like this and select the field, then instantly all of these trees would actually get taken down. So I'd rather not do that, because it takes a while for trees to grow back, and I'd rather just first cut them down and use them in my industry. One really vital aspect about level 2 houses is that they generate 1 wealth. That means 1 ducat, or whatever you want to call it, per family. So if a house has 2 families in it, then you get 2. So because these houses here have 2, and that's why I chose to upgrade them fast, because now I'm getting 8 wealth per month from these 4 houses that I've upgraded to level 2. And I've got another one here that's getting upgraded right now, but this doesn't have a second extension for a secondary family to live in, so I'm only getting 1 wealth from this particular house. That's why I prioritize upgrading the extended houses before anything else, and we just got upgraded again. Let's go ahead, irrigation, so we drastically lower the amount of damage caused by draft. Probably should have done heavy plows now that I think about it. Yes, this would have been smarter, because we need to use oxen for farming farming. That's going to significantly improve the speed of our farming, actually. And we also need to do bakeries after. This was a mistake. I should have gone down to this. Oof. It seems like we've got 1 year to get ready for raiders. We're going to get attacked by raiders within a year, so we need to make sure we have enough units to defend ourselves. That means I'm going to need to build some special residential houses. That's going to allow me to build up bows, and then I can get some archers to defend against the enemies. I'm also going to need to build my manor, so I'm going to need some stone for that. Yeah, I'm not sure I built the stone. Oh, no, it's here. Oh, it's not yet finished. Oh, God. Come on. I need stone. And we've got our very first plot here. We're going to need to change the logging camp, and we're going to go to advanced layer work area, unlimited. Now they can cut whatever they want, wherever they want it to, because we've got enough plot made here. We're going to set this for a rye, which is 20% more grain we're going to get from rye compared to wheat, which is a big deal, actually. We're going to need to start assigning people to work this area in a month, give or take. It's going to be 4 progress levels. First, we have to plow the land, then we have to sow the land, then we have to wait for the crop to grow, and then we're going to have to harvest it. After that's done, we're going to need to grind it. We're going to need a windmill, and then after, we're going to need to bake it in a communal oven or in a bakery. We don't have any bakeries just yet. We need to upgrade some of our level 2 houses to become bakeries. So we could say upgrade this one to level 2 and turn it into a bakery, or build a brand new house and turn it into a bakery. I think the second option is better though. Oh my god, I found the perfect house. Look at that. So this place is gonna have a massive extension which we can use to produce whatever we want, plus it's gonna have a second spot for a second family. This is the perfect house right here. This is, so I guess there's not 3 types. Technically this would be a 4th type of house, because it both has an extension for a second family and it has an attachment for vegetables or making it into a bakery or whatever else we want to turn it into, right? And we can do the same here. We can do 1 big house with a massive extension and 2 regular ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this one and this one into apple orchards, because they have a lot of land in which they can plant apple trees, which is going to take 3 years to grow anyway. And these 2 I'm going to turn into a bakery and a boyer, or I'm going to both turn them into a boyer. Let's see. So we have enough bows for whenever the raiders arrive. I'm not sure yet. Another ruler's army has been sighted. Let's see how many troops they got. They got mercenary spearmen. Okie dokie. Where are you guys going? You're going that way. Oh, you're gonna go destroy the bandit camp. No, I wanted to destroy the bandit camp. Oh, you're taking my money, you scumbags. Oh, you know what? Oh, pause. I'm gonna do something sneaky. Rally, come on, quick. All right, you guys, we're gonna let them destroy the bandits, and then we're gonna go and we're gonna take the money from the bandits. That is big brain right there. That is actually freaking big brain. Let's wait here just in case they attack, so we don't have the higher ground penalty anymore. See, Roman town, Romanian tactics, boys. So we're in the process of getting our manor done here, and I've got some bad news from the developers. I'm not able to build any walls because yeah, it's not available in the creator version. If you do build walls around your settlement, it's gonna break the game. So I'm gonna have to switch over to the release version, which I just got access to, actually. So I don't want to finish this run with you know, a sad ending, because I want you guys to see my Civitas Tropaensium. We've got most of the western part of the city done. We just need to do this area here, I guess. And we've got mostly level 2 houses, as it is Burgish plots level 2. To get them to level 3, we just need a tavern, a level 2 church, and another clothing. Level 2 church is close by. We just need to get some tiles done. We also have the malt house under construction and the brewery under construction. So we're importing right now from our trading post barley, and this barley, which we have a surplus of 9, is going to be turned into malt at the malt house, and then it's going to be turned into ale at the brewery, and then it's going to be used by the tavern, which is going to allow us to make level 3 burgish plots. Remember that level 2 gives us 1 wealth per family, level 3 gives us 2 wealth per family. So these center of town buildings, which I am ensured have 2 families in them, are going to give us right now 2 wealth, and when they're level 3, 4 wealth per house, which is a pretty significant amount if you ask me. We've also got a lot of apple farms. We got 2 burgish plots here which have apple production, and we have another 2 burgish plots over here that have apple production. You can actually see the apple trees. It's gonna take a while before we can properly harvest these, because it's gonna take a while for them to properly grow to full size. That being said, I did ensure that most of these have a secondary family to work in there as well, and I gave the extra space for these apple orchards, because end of the day, building an apple orchard costs me 50 regional wealth per apple orchard, which is not something to take lightly, right? Also, for the level 2 burgish plots here, we've also built a Fletcher's workshop, so we get some bows done. Remember that bows are going to be required, so we get some archers, and archers are the strongest unit by far in the game. A tailor shop also to get the second type of clothes, which is another requirement for us to upgrade our burgish plots to level 3, which is something we need in order to get a large village done from a small town. Or sorry, to get a small town from a large village, better yet said. And I'm in the process of finishing cutting off these trees, which means I'm going to be building up my second field. I'm going to set it right next to this main field here. It's going to have pretty significant yield too, because it has mostly green pastures. So, you know, it's good. I'll do it now. There you go. That looks pretty good to me. Oh, that's delicious. Honestly, the sad part is that I'm going to have to say goodbye to Civitas Tropaensium since I'm going to be using the release version. I'm going to make another video, which is also going to act as a beginner guide with the actual features that you guys are going to have when the game comes out for everybody, because the release version that I'm going to be playing up next is the one that everyone's going to have, right? So that's why I'm not going to be able to continue the save, which is why the light goal we had from the beginning of the run, forget about it. As Joey would say, forget about it. Wait, no, that's not Joey. That's the mobsters, isn't it? Yeah, pretty sure that's the mob. I'm actually kind of curious to see how the release version is compared to this, because I haven't actually opened it. I will literally open it right after I finish recording this. So I'm pretty hyped out for that. Also, I have to say that we probably should get more oxen early on. I feel like one mistake I've done is that I did not get enough oxen early on. And let me also take a walk through my beautiful Civitas Tropaensium before anything else, because I'm gonna miss this place. Definitely brings back a lot of memories from when I was doing my flight school. And I know this does not actually look like the actual Roman city, because, you know, it's too Slavic for my taste, but still I like it. I definitely like it. And I hope you guys enjoy this run. If you enjoy this run, let me know in the comment section. And let me know what other historically accurate Roman city you want me to create for the other run. Because we're obviously going to mold ourselves on this one, and we're going to do just another Roman city. And hey, if you enjoyed this particular run, check out this other one. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.